Hey, good morning, Heather. I'm trying to edit these videos so they're not so long. I'm finding that I'm talking too much in them, so I've re-recorded the exterior video. I'm going to send you a wide shot so you see the style. I think you have an idea, but I want you to know what it looks like. And I'm going to walk around the camper just to point out a couple of things. First things first, the outside aluminum, we call that the skin, is in great condition. There's one exception to that we'll talk about in a minute, but all of this is original to the camper. It's straight, no holes, or it's just really remarkable. And it's also going to save a lot of time and money because we don't have to do anything with this but sand it, prime it, and paint it. So that's great. All but two of the windows, original glass, are intact. Obviously, those will all be removed, put new gaskets, cleaned, all that, but don't have to worry about the glass, which is great. While we're back here, I'll point out a couple of things. It still has the original wings. This one's obviously been damaged over the years, but I can rebuild that. That's very unique to these. As you know, the Shastas have their wings, and having the originals are really rare. All of the exterior lighting is going to have to be replaced. The lenses on the outside are just crumbling from being so old. So even though they're still here, they just can't be reused. So I'll replace all of these with LED lights. Those are fairly inexpensive, so I'm not concerned about that. This old bumper will be removed and either replaced with a new something, I don't know what yet, or maybe nothing. I just haven't decided, but it's the roughest part because it was sitting on the ground. All right, coming around the side, this is one of the panes that are missing, but again, one pane, that's pretty good. All of these gaskets, the windows will be removed and rebuilt. All the gaskets replaced, etc. I'm just going to walk this way. It's going to be bright in a minute. So you can see the aluminum looks good. This is the original power in. We're going to replace all the electrical with 30 amps, so that won't be working anymore. These vents are for your existing refrigerator. One here to let the hot air out from the refrigerator. This is your water heater, the existing water heater, which runs off of propane, so we won't be using that. And then this is just an access door. All right, we come around to the front. See if I can get sorry about the brightness. Again, more marker lights on top. Those will look really sharp at night. We'll replace the old Shasta emblem. My wife has a Cricket. She does really good work, so those on the front and back will be replaced. You'll notice this camper has a two-tone. It was white with gold, and then this gold strip on these sides in the front are anodized, meaning they're not painted. Now this will be your opportunity to add some color to it though, because again, we would sand this, we'd prime it, and then go back with white for the majority of it, and then have an opportunity for color here, down there, and across the front. So that's something you could be thinking about, what color you'd like the exterior to be, a little pop of color. The frame is in really good condition. It's just rusty, but they always are. We'll sand that down, prime it, paint it black. The hitch still works, which is fantastic. The hitch jack does not, so that'll have to be replaced. We won't be replacing any of the propane, so all of this will be gone. The wiring will be replaced with new wiring for running lights, brakes, turning, stuff like that. So most of this you see up here won't be, it's not important, but just to point out the positives, which is all this is still in good shape and works. We'll replace that. It's only like $40, so it's not a big deal. Here's the exception I was talking about. There is one hole in the aluminum. You can almost see where it was pushed in because the existing aluminum's all right there. My first thought is to just pull all that back out and patch it, or we can replace this entire anodized panel that you see here. It's just a basic aluminum panel. We could order all of that and replace it. It's just more time and money. Aluminum sheeting for these is very expensive. So my instinct is to repair and patch, if you don't mind a small patch up front. But I can let you kind of make that decision. It doesn't have to be made early. All right, this is the door side. It's again in really great shape. There's the other pane of glass that needs to be repaired. Really cool feature, the Shasta, original Shasta logo is still there. All these will be removed, cleaned up, put back on, but that's rare too to still have those, so I'm excited about that. Here's your door. The door's in great shape. The inside lock and handle still work, but you can see, maybe I can walk around there. Bear with me. The handle itself was they call it a Bargman. It was one of these, you know, you pull and it unlocks. Well, it's been broken off. I'm gonna see if I can source just this part, but it may have to be the entire lock. If we go back with another Bargman, it'll be about $60. It's actually a knockoff Bargman. The original ones are hundreds of dollars, but it'll look like this. The problem with keeping this one is we don't have the keys, so we can't lock it, and I know you're gonna wanna lock your camper. So either way, we're gonna have to replace the door handle. I'm just sort of pointing out things as we go. All the original badging still here, which I think is really cool. Adds to the value. Those will all be removed, cleaned, refurbished, and put back on. And then there's the other wing. Look at that, still in perfect condition. It's just amazing. We'll shine everything up, but otherwise it works good. I just wanted to go through the exterior with you. Let me move this bag. The only other thing on the outside to point out is tires, wheels, springs. So we had to borrow tires to get this home because the original ones were too far gone and the rims were rusty, so you couldn't reuse them. We'll have to replace with new rims and tires. That'll be about $250, the cost of those. And then new springs, which are behind the tire. Just, you know what a leaf spring is, I'm sure. It doesn't have shocks, it just has springs. Those are fairly inexpensive too. Those will all be on I'll put a spreadsheet together at some point, but just so you know, to make it safe and towable. Of course, all the bearings will be replaced and repacked. That's fairly inexpensive. I'll check the brakes out. They're electric. They're usually in good condition because they're never used, but we'll make sure all that works well. And then the axle on these campers is just a solid piece of steel, so it's hard to be there for them to be damaged. So typically we leave those as well. I'll make that decision when I pull everything off and look at it, but just to kind of give you a heads up as where we are today. And that's the exterior.